What we're seeing in LA is chaos caused by the administration. People should exercise their right to protest. That's their First Amendment right. But people should also exercise that right peacefully. We do not want to play into the administration's hands. We're working with officials, we're organizing resources, but what we're seeing in Los Angeles is chaos that is provoked by the administration.
All right, now what we just heard in that initial clip is the mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, the failed Karen Bass. That's right, the same exact Karen Bass who's responsible for LA burning to the ground. We talking about just a couple months ago, and it's going to blow your mind in this video when you find out what's really behind these riots and those fires. A lot of people think it's just immigration and them wanting these illegal immigrants here to vote in their local elections, because the Democrats know, just like they know all across the country in these blue cities and these blue states, even their own base is sick and tired of them, where they have people, their own constituents, who may never vote Republican. But I tell you what, those current people that are sitting in power right now, they want them out. And they're trying to find somebody more moderate. And in a lot of these places, especially like Chicago, where the mayor, Brandon Johnson, has a 7%, you heard it right, a 7% approval rating, these cities are going to flip red. These states are going to go red. And in California, if the wildfires and now these riots doesn't do it, nothing will. But we're going to go through it in this video. So you just heard Karen Bass saying that it's the Trump administration's fault for the riots in LA. And that's what these Democrats are pushing on all the mainstream media outlets. But there's only one network that has not pushed back on these Democrats. I call them demon rats. And that's the good old MSDNC. So if you pay attention, all of these Democrat politicians are running the MSDNC because that network is made just to propagate BS. CNN, as left-wing as they are, they've been pushing back some. So we're going to get into this clip of Mayor Karen Bass spewing some more of her BS. But wait till I show you who Karen Bass really is and what her roots really come from. And then we're going to follow that up with her being proven, being called out. While she was on CNN, she was called out. But it's going to trip you out. So let me get into it. I'm going to play this clip of Karen Bass spewing some of her BS. But then I'm going to come back with cold, hardcore facts that's going to blow your mind.
Now to Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass. Hi, Mayor. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi.
Hi. So what are you and your police force? I know how busy you are preparing for the hours ahead. What are you expecting on that front?
Well, I just have to say that if you dial back time and go to Friday, if immigration raids had not happened here, we would not have the disorder that went on last night. I will tell you that it is peaceful now, but we do not know where and when the next raids will be. That is the concern, because people in the city have a rapid response network. If they see ICE, they go out and they protest. And so it's just a recipe for pandemonium that is completely unnecessary. Nothing was happening here. Los Angeles was peaceful before Friday. When we find out when and where the other raids are going to happen, that will determine how the police respond.
Now, if you just listen to that double speak she just gave, this woman literally just said the riots broke out because the federal government was enforcing our laws. And she even said, if why didn't immigration tell them? Well, Karen, because they know if they would have told you, they might as well just put it online and put up a billboard and call the local media and say, hey, y'all, run a report that we're going to be there on Thursday at 2 p.m. in this neighborhood, because that's exactly what would have happened. But the fact that they did a shock and awe, it caught them off guard. And that network she's talking about, yeah, it's a well-funded network of people primarily who don't even live in LA, don't even live in California. Some of these people allegedly even being illegal immigrant gang members who they've been funding. Oh, yeah, and I won't get into in this video, but when you get a chance, look into it. The Venezuelan president just came out and told President Trump, please contact them so they can show proof that the Biden administration worked with Venezuela and paid for the Tren de Aragua gang to be brought to the U.S. to do exactly what they're doing. So they literally are shuffling in their own groups to wreak havoc on the American people, to help them push this Marxist agenda. In Marxism, this is all what Marxism is. Stir up unrest, create chaos. And I've said it on every video I put out when I'm speaking about these demon rats. They love chaos. That is the Marxist way. They believe in the chaos It wears people down where they get so sick of the fighting. They get so sick of the fires and all of the shooting and the looting that they submit and they demand on their leaders to tell them what to do. Now, we're going to get into why that's so critical here in a second. But you just heard Mayor Karen Bass talking about how it was so peaceful and there was no issue there. And why would the Trump administration need to deploy the National Guard? And here's a kicker for you. The National Guard was deployed, but guess what? They never engaged. So when the Democrats are running around saying, oh, National Guard, they never engaged. They're literally standing down. The 700 Marines that were sent in, they have not engaged. These people that you see going at it with the protesters, those have been local police. And then some of the Guard members who in defense was protecting themselves, but they haven't fully engaged the crowd. Well, not initially when it started. They've engaged now, but initially when they got there, they didn't engage with those people. Now, Mayor Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom have been saying, oh my God, I can't believe that he sent in the National Guard without Gavin Newsom's approval. Because typically a governor requests National Guard, but on federal soil, the United States president, the commander-in-chief, the leader of the armed forces, has the right to deploy the military to protect federal employees, federal buildings. He does not need the governor's permission to do that. So all of this unconstitutionality they're talking about, it amazes me how the Democrats use words like unconstitutional while working to protect non-citizens, illegal immigrants who are breaking the law. So the Constitution does not apply to someone who's not a citizen and also a criminal. If you're enjoying this video, do me a solid, hit that thumbs up, because I'll never ask you for a cash app or a super chat, but you hitting that like button, it really helps. It helps spread the information out. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. And then once you do subscribe, and whether you're subscribed already or just now subscribing, make sure you hit the notification bell and select all. So that way YouTube will notify you every time I upload a new video. Illegal immigrant criminals have been labeled as domestic T-words. And you know what T-word I'm talking about rhymes with schmererist, because you know how YouTube is. So Karen Bass said, oh, it's peaceful, it's peaceful. Listen to her own police chief, the LAPD police
we saw the first night was bad.
Lay it down and give it to you in the raw. So the mayor said, it's fine, there's nothing. We don't need that. We didn't need that. Listen to him.
We saw the first night was bad. What we've seen subsequent to that is getting increasingly worse and more violent. Tonight we had individuals out there shooting commercial-grade fireworks at our officers. That can kill you. And we have adapted our tactics to be able to have a chance to be able to take these people into custody and to be able to hold them accountable. We are overwhelmed as far as the number of people out there engaged in this type of activity and the type of things that they're doing. They'll take backpacks, and the backpack will have a cinder block in it. They have a hammer, and they'll break up the cinder block and use that, pass it around to throw at officers, to throw at cars, and throw at other people. We've seen people with hammers, and you broadcasted, breaking the bollards behind the federal building and taking the rocks, if you will, or pieces of concrete, and throwing them at officers. We've had liquid of who knows what description thrown at officers. There's no limit to what they're doing to our officers. And again, as I mentioned in my statement, I can't thank our folks enough and our partner agency police officials for going out there and taking care of the community.
So now you just heard the police chief explaining to you that they're overwhelmed. While we got Karen Bass talking about, we didn't need that. It was perfectly fine. There was no issue there. These people will get on TV and lie. And have you ever noticed that this woman, she keeps like a Joker type smile on her face during the LA fires where people was losing their homes and their lives? She kept smiling the whole time. Even throughout this, she just smiles as if everything is fun. It's not funny, but that's how sick these people are. So check out Mayor Karen Bass and her communist, socialist, Marxist background. Disturbing secret history of woke LA Mayor Karen Bass resurfaces amid immigration riots. As chaotic pro-migrant riots continue in Los Angeles, the woke mayor's disturbing past has come to light yet again. Tensions grew increasingly high over the weekend as Trump administration deployed the National Guard to crack down on protests over immigration raids. I wanted to make it a little bit bigger. Early Sunday morning, Trump took to his Truth Social, applauded the National Guard for stepping in to control these radical left protests, while also calling out Governor Gavin Newsom and Mayor Karen Bass for being unable to handle the task. I'm just glad to read it to you because every time I enlarge it, all them doggone promotion things come up. Amid the ongoing immigration riots, Bass's ties to Venceramos Brigade, an international socialist revolution group aimed at challenging U.S. policies toward Cuba, have made their way back into the spotlight after they were revealed just months back during the city's disastrous wildfires. She previously praised Fidel Castro and had close associations with the Caribbean country in her youth, traveling there in 1973 with Venceramos Brigade and seeing the communist leader speak. In 2016, when Castro died, she referred to him as Comandante in Jefe, Commander-in-Chief, saying his passing was a great loss to the people of Cuba. She also reportedly gave a eulogy for a senior member of the Communist Party. Bass has also been described as the leader of the Venceramos Brigade in Southern California, according to a report published by Tablet magazine. Now, with yet another massive emergency plaguing the Democratic-run state, people have brought up her turbulent past as Trump and other Republicans blast her and Governor Gavin Newsom's response to the ongoing riots. Karen Bass was trained in revolutionary warfare and subversion during her many decades in the Cuban regime-sponsored Venceramos Brigades, a user wrote on X. Look at her wearing the Cuban colors. That's her over there in Cuba. Look at the light. Amid the ongoing ICE riots, Bass's ties to Venceramos Brigade, an international socialist revolution group aimed at challenging U.S. policies toward Cuba, have come back into the light. Picture Bass in her early days as a political activist. She was a talent scout and recruiter. What she is doing now merits a federal national security investigation. Her ideas of America are not the same as ours, wrote another. Someone else commented, she knows she won't get reelected, so she's pro-violence as a revolutionary communist. Reminder, Karen Bass leans into communism, one wrote. Rumors of her involvement in the organization have been known and talked about for years. And in 2020, Bass defended her past travel to Cuba and the comments she made about Castro. In calling him Comandante in Jefe, Bass said she did so to express her condolences for the Cuban people, but the term itself is condemned by Cuban exiles who fled to Florida under Castro's reign. Wouldn't do that again, Bass told Meet the Press host Chuck Todd in response to her 2016 comments. Talked immediately to my colleagues from Florida and realized that that was something that just shouldn't have been said. Bass, who represented California in Congress at the time, says she was expressing condolences to the Cuban people, not Cubans around the world. I don't think that is a toxic expression in California, but let me just say, Chuck, lesson learned. On Saturday, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth warned that active duty Marines were on high alert as roving mobs of violent thugs created havoc on the streets of Los Angeles. Hegseth made the bold threat after Trump ordered 2,000 National Guard troops to descend on the city in an effort to quell days-long chaos amid ICE raids targeting illegal immigrants. The violent mob assaults on ICE and federal law enforcement are designed to prevent the removal of criminal illegal aliens from our soil and a huge national security risk, Hegseth wrote on X. If violence continues, the active duty Marines at Camp Pendleton will also be mobilized. They are on high alert. Trump then made his stance clear on who he thinks is to blame for the violence as he took his truth social and said, great job by the National Guard in Los Angeles after 2 days of violence, clashes, and unrest. Okay, so now we know. This was 2016 that Karen Bass was praising Castro. Have you noticed on the Democrat side, Ilhan Omar, her name slips my mind, but Jayapal. Then we got the Congresswoman from Michigan. Then we got AOC. We got these people that are more loyal to Somali, to Cuba, to all these other countries than the U.S. And on the Democrat side, these folks get voted in. Why? Because their voters are ignorant. And when I say ignorant, that means lacking knowledge. Democrats' idea of a qualified, a great voter, someone that don't do due diligence, don't do research, that are willing to listen and go. Think about the slogan of the Democrat Party. Vote blue no matter who. So when they talking about the interactions and the friction on the Republican side, they're right. Because we have free-thinking individuals who want what's best for the country and for the party. And what's good for one may not be seen as good for the other one. But guess what? They're going to talk about it, going to debate it out. Sometimes they're not going to agree. But that's the American way. It should scare the lights out of everybody when everybody on one side agrees with everything. Nobody has a different opinion. Nobody has something against what's going on. Everybody's lockstep. Something wrong with that. It's vote blue no matter who. That's brainwashed and programmed. As a matter of fact, to show you how big of a liar this woman is, as if we don't already know, let's take a trip back to when President Trump was in LA. Oh, before I do that, let me let you in on what's really going on as to why California is the way that it is. Let me bring you up to speed on this. Did you know that there was already a plan for a smart LA? Did you know that in 2020, if you look here, if you look on the bottom of this page, you'll see where this was in 2020, December of 2020, for a smart LA by 2028. And what a smart LA is, they want to make the entire city electronic, a smart city. A smart city. And this is already in the works, y'all. The city of Los Angeles envisions a highly digital and connected city in 2028. Let me show you more. This is a picture of it. Now, is there a coincidence that we had the fires, then they just, the reservoirs were empty, the city burned to the ground? Wow. Now we got more violence and more unrest. The city's burning, things are getting tore up. And then coincidentally, the Democrats in California already have plans for a new city. The Olympics were going to be in California in 2028. And ironically, the city's been leveled, making it that much easier for construction. Don't you know? Don't you know? Can you believe that? This is real. Look it up. Smart LA 2028. Look it up. Mayor Eric Garcetti, State of the City, April 19, 2020. The soul of our recovery will shape the contours of our city's future for decades to come. We have a blueprint for the city of the future. This is not a mistake what's happening. They've been playing this. And they're allowing it to work itself out right in front of our faces under the guise of a mysterious wildfire and under these ice raids causing people to explode, even though President Trump ran on that. He ran on it because these people are pulling the wool over folks' eyes and trying to destroy our country. Now, let me take you back to when Karen Bass, she had a run-in with President Trump, right? Now, you heard the mayor when he said that bricks are being given in. This is an example of a pallet that's been dropped in LA. And this is just another video of those peaceful protests. Look at the peace that Karen Bass talked about. Now, remember this? Let me take you back to when Karen Bass was called out by President Trump and was busted in a lie, and her own constituents call her out. Check this out.
We can, but we want you to be safe. We want you to be back in your homes immediately.
But the people are willing to clean out their own debris. It doesn't cost a lot.
Yes, and they can.
You should let them do it because by the time you hire contractors, it's going to be 2 years.
If a family...
People are willing to get a dumpster and do it themselves and clean it out.
And they can.
There's not that much left. It's all incinerated.
That's right.
And, you know, it's just going to take a long time if you do. You can do some of it, but a lot of these people, I know that guy right there that's talking. I know my people. You'll be on that thing tonight, throwing the stuff away, and your site it'll look perfect within 24 hours, and that's what he wants to do. He doesn't want to wait around for 7 months till the city hires some demolition contract that's going to charge him $25,000 to do his lot. I think you have emergency powers just like I do, and I'm exercising my emergency powers. You have to exercise them also.
I did exercise them.
Because I looked, you have a very powerful emergency power, and you can do everything within 24 hours.
Yes. And if individuals want to clear out their property, they can. Well, yes, but you know that you will be
Remember the psychotic smirk I told you about? Just look at it.
able to go back soon.
Mr. President.
We think within a week.
That's a long time, a week. I'll be honest. To me, everyone's standing in front of their house. They want to go to work, and they're not allowed to do it.
And the most important thing is for people
time.
to be safe.
They're safe. They're safe. You know what? They're not safe. They're not safe now. They're going to be much safer. A week is actually a long time, the way I look at it.
You got people that have paid for their homes, have lived in their homes, that want to go there and take and remove their own trash, not being allowed. She lied to President Trump. Those people still weren't allowed back like she said they were. Now you got the riots, and she's saying, oh, we didn't know they were coming. Because if you did know, you would have done everything you could to subvert it. Look at what the Democrats are doing. Look at who they're protecting. These people don't give a damn about our country. And now they don't have control of X like they did in 2020 when the Summer of Love happened and they were able to manipulate and people couldn't see what was really happening. We see you. The whole world sees you. And your days are numbered. Karen Bass, Gavin Newsom, and the rest of those demon rats. We want you out. Your time has expired. And now the Make America Great, the golden age, the dawn of a new era is upon the demon rats, and it's time for them to flee. So I just wanted to bring you this information, let you know what's going on out there in LA. I'm sure you've seen it, but this woman is a psychopath. Gavin Newsom is like the dude, Christian Bale from American Psycho, with that Cheshire cat grin while he's lying straight to your face. You got to watch people who can smile and lie to you during tragedy, that are smiling during tragedy. And I know they say people handle grief different. This lady smiles while people are dying. Lives are being lost. Our law enforcement are being impacted negatively by her citizens, not her citizens, by the illegal immigrants that she refers to as citizens. These folks are nuts. But if you hung in there and watched with me this long, thank you so much. If you haven't already, hit that like button. If you aren't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think about this madness. Most importantly, I want you to stay safe and you be great. I'm Brian Maxwell saying I look forward to seeing you at the top. Over and out, y'all.